when one Del Sol isn't enough, so you got to do another. We got another Del Sol in. We got some work to do on these Del Sols. The other one's right back in. So we got the Del Sol unloaded, and now I got to try to convince the owner of this thing to keep it red. So we thought it was going to be red and we were going to have Yoshi and Mario. This guy's idea, pretty good one. But now they're saying Battleship Gray, and we're going wanting the Hannah. So now I got to convince them to keep it red. We're all on red. Raise your hand for red. We're all on red. See, red all the way around. Red. Yep. But we got it unloaded, letting it run. Battery's dead. Clean little Del Sol. Voodoo Blue. Make it match the truck. Voodoo Blue. Voodoo Blue, that might be a good option. Maybe we can get crowd vote and then convince Courtney. There we go, there we go. But had some body work done. We got a little bit left to finish up on it, clean it up, figure out this antenna. Yes. Fun stuff. So we're gonna be diving into this one here real soon, this one here real soon, and the green Del Sol inside. So let's get on it. We've been just cruising through these here. It's been a lot of fun here lately. We've just been plucking along, the wife and I. Late nights, early mornings, all times of day, non-stop. So we've got one in the booth baking right now, and we've got the Del Sol on deck. This Del Sol is the wife to this Del Sol. So same owners, two different Del Sols. She wanted to get into the Honda game, so why not get a matching Del Sol? This one will be going back factory red. We're doing jams. We'll be pulling the engine with Frederick tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun there. But we're gonna dive into this one, full paint job. We've got a lot of body work to do. It's already been started, and we've got to take majority of it out, start all over again on it. But we're gonna start in on this one. So let's dive in. Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna dig all this mud out of this thing. Who knows how much we have, but it's gonna be a little bit of work here. I could just leave it and go over it, but I don't know what's underneath of it, and I'd really like to know, so we're going to find out. And yeah, dig it out. So far it's not super thick. Real happy with the body work actually on this thing so far. It's looking all right. So less body work for me to do. I did see we have a little bit of welding to do back here. Those are just filled with mud, so we'll weld those in, clean them up. But I'm gonna get back to digging this thing out. So I got tired of trying to grind all this out. I figured, let's just break some of it out. So I've just been pulling chunks out of this thing. It's been quite fun. I don't know what's up with this. It's like really yellow, but isn't that fun? A little bit quicker.
Jeez.
Big one right into your knuckles.
Yeah, look at that thing.
That is crazy.
Ow.
I got you good. So I think that's about all I can do for digging out. I mean, I'll do a little bit more up here, but then I'll grind the rest of this out. We'll catch you all when we find out what kind of mess we got here. All right, y'all, we've moved some things around. We got James over there making some noise today, but the wife and I are working on taking these seals out. They're pretty easy. You got 2 screws right here. You got a tab right here, and then you've got a couple down here. Let me move some things around. Sorry about the noise. James is working on stripping the Grand Prix for us. Pretty exciting. Alright, so right here would be the 2. There might be a little glue there, so you might have to kind of pop it off. These will be just like the Supra seals were. So I kind of got a good idea of how to do them here. So you got one little tab right down in here at the front, these 2 here, and then just some glue in this pinch seal. So that one was pretty easy. Now this one's going to be a lot of the same way. There's just the screw here, there's a tab here, there's going to be a tab down in the door. It's going to be right here, and right here. So we got those. I'm going to pop them out. Like that. You will find in the corners there is some like glue style stuff. We'll use some Honda Bond, put it back in those same spots so we can really stick this thing back down in there so we don't have any leaks. But we didn't ruin the moldings, so don't be afraid to take your moldings off the car. I mean, it's just a matter of pulling them off and putting them back on. So they're off, we're gonna continue on. Alright, so I just removed this interior trim panel here to try to look to see what it takes to get this off. And it looks like it's just some clips. So we're gonna try to de-clip it. Too easy. So now that this one's off, we can work on these. Alright, and then down in this channel, you have a Phillips as well. It sits right here. Inside, and then it looks like just some tabs, so I'm going to start pulling this one off.
Got that one for you.
Got that one out? Okay. Just like that, they come off. So you got 3 tabs in there in this back one. So you just kind of gotta pry it around and pop it off. So we got it. On to the other side. People be wildin'. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hey. Just like that. Both of them are off. Now we don't have much to take apart, so let's get back to sanding this thing. All right, now that James is done making noise for the day, we were able to get all the seals removed. Kind of showed you guys how we went about taking those off. They come off pretty easy. Just don't start grabbing and pulling. Just be gentle with them and they'll really come right off. There's just little bits of glue that kind of hold them on that can all be put back on. All of these, just a little bit of prying, wiggling, taking your time with them, and they'll all pop off as well. Just don't go crazy on them, and you'll be all right to get everything off that you need to that way. As far as that, the car's pretty well all taken apart. We need to just pull this little garnish, a couple little seals, and then we're gonna start pulling on this over here, get it pulled out where we need it, do this quarter panel repair. We're welding the antenna shut, and then we will remove this door off, get all the seals off, all of that good stuff. Get all the jams sealed and get this thing ready for some mud. So let's dive into pulling that quarter panel. And we are back. So I missed the chance of getting a recording of the quarter panel pulled. Gary just went to town on this thing. But he's about got it where he wants it. He's got a few more tugs to do. I think a few more in this area up in here. And then just welding all the holes shut, grinding them flat. But right now, I'm working on making up an antenna delete plate. So this will go in something like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and just weld it in there. Pretty happy with the gap overall. So that should work pretty good. And then a light skim coat over the top. And that one will be in there. So no more radio for, no more, what was it? Elvis Duran in the morning. So good thing for Bluetooth. Alright, so a lot has happened since the last time that we all met. We got Gary back in the house, he's over there. Super stoked on that. So with that being said, he came in, got this quarter knocked out before I even had a chance to film any of it. It was that fast. Poof, quarter fixed. So we've got it here. We welded the antenna shut. A lot of work's been done. We welded our holes shut here. Rochelle and I, she's there. We're busy. So we're gonna get on getting this thing ready for some primer. We're gonna clean it off real good, tape it up, and like I said, just get it totally ready for some primer, get it rocking and rolling on this thing here. So with that being said, let's dive into it and hope we can keep you guys up to date on this one. Well, like I said, lots been going on. We've rearranged, we built the wall. Just a lot going on here, so let's dive into this. Alright y'all, so I know we were gonna be working on the outside of this, but I gotta drop these window seals just because we like to do a quality job around here, and the only way to get a quality paint job is to pull all this off. And the only way to pull those off is to remove the back glass, motor, glass, the whole assembly. So if you look down over here, you can actually see there's still a bolt all the way down in there. It's hard to see, but it is literally right down there, and then there's another one right there that has to come out, and this won't come out because you can't get to that bolt down there without taking this out. You can't get to it from in the trunk. So looks like I'm gonna pull this panel out, which is okay. I took the speaker out, so now I can get this panel off, get the seat belt down, get this panel off, get the seat belt down, take these all the way off. And then all I have to do is take this off, take these pillars off, and then I'll just tape off the dash, and then I don't even have to tape off the inside of this car. I can just clean it out real good and just go to town. I won't have to back tape none of this, tape off, there'll be no tape on anything. Just cover the dash and I can shoot this thing. So that's what we're gonna work on here, getting this out, and then I'll be able to take those 2 little Phillips screws out so we can remove those trim pieces. All right, so if you just undo all these bolts along here, you can actually just pull this back and get down to that last one. It sits right here. So there's one. Oh no, it's right down there. Real hard to see, but it sits down there, and then there's this one also. So if you just pull this back, you can get that out. I got the bolt in back over here, but I was able to get that all out. And then let me put this bolt in. All right. And then if you guys ever have to remove this rear garnish,
Don't do it.
yeah, don't do it, wife says. These 2 bolts right here, they're not really bolts. So if you look, this side's smooth. And this side is a nut with no bolt. It's with no hex head on it. It's completely smooth, round. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. That is threaded. So that is, I mean, that's part of the panel. And it's smooth. I tried getting it off. And then I just had to use a pair of vice grips and a lot of channel locks and a lot of oomph. And that came off there. So I'll probably just try to figure out what thread pitch that is. It's probably a 12 millimeter. Put a 12 on. If yours guys have 12s, better for you, but mine did not, so that was a pain in the butt. But that's all off. All these parts are about ready to be set in primer. So as soon as we get this thing completely apart, I got to get the hood off it yet, get the trunk lid off it, things of that nature, and then I'll start priming a whole bunch of this. And actually Gary's got a lot of the GTO stuff ready for primer, so I'm gonna throw some primer on the top of that, on the trunk lid. And then this guy's been plucking away over here on this. Got that quarter sitting pretty nice. So that's all more for the GTO video, but we're plucking along in here. Thanks for watching, and let's get back on this Del Sol. Boom! The car has finally made it into the booth. This thing's looking good. All the bodywork's done. The old man took care of that spot there. All the trunk. Wife's wiping them down. We got this quarter panel all repaired. It's looking really good. We're gonna set this whole thing in primer. Then after it's in primer, we're gonna block it out and see where we're at. You can never tell if you're truly straight on your mud work until you block your primer. You can block your mud all day long and make it look straight, but you just, like I said, never know. So, like I said, we deleted the antenna. Man, this thing's looking really good. Got the body line back down in here. Everything's good there. Rest of the car's in pretty good shape. This thing's gonna need some love, real thick scratches in that. So we're gonna clean that up. We don't know what the heck happened here. That's all just scratches in it. So we got our doors taped up pretty good. Everything's pulled out of them. This is our first set of primer. So I will be pulling these out before we do our second coat and paint. I will most likely take them out due to, you can see the fact of all the chipping in there. So can't leave that, so those have got to come out. Like I said, this is just our first primer, so we can actually just block out the doors and see where we're at. We had to do a repair on the passenger door, and the passenger side quarter panel, and then just these little spots. So let's dive into primer in this thing. Y'all get the idea. Primering takes forever. It's a lot of steps. So I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna hit this again. That looks pretty good. We'll hit this one more time. We'll hit the fenders, are probably good. So we'll hit the doors, finish this little spot, that piece, and we will catch y'all after this thing's baked before we block.